All right, so we've got Miss Violet's pups here to present to you. They were born on August 18th as well, so we're excited to share our double delivery that happened that day between Sage and Violet, and that really kept us hopping. So these pups are all doing wonderful. They are just a little bit smaller than Sage's in comparison. Violet as a whole is just a size smaller than Sage. Sage is a full-sized female and Violet is an average-sized female. So her pups are going to trend a little bit smaller than Sage's, and we're excited to share these pups with you. So we'll just set up the camera up and show them to you one by one. So I always feel a little bad when they're nursing and I have to disrupt their dinner for this, but it's time and the show must go on. So we will start with the solo girl from Violet's pups. We've got Miss Pink. She had 1 girl and 7 boys in this litter. So ladies first. And so this is Miss Pink, and as of today, she is 0.85 pounds and just an adorable girl. So she has a small dot marking on her chest, right there in her cowlick, and then she has a small little couple of hairs right underneath her neck area, underneath her collar area. So if you can see that, I'll try to get a good view of that for you. So that is Miss Pink, and she does have a few light hairs in her groin area as well. Those won't hardly be noticeable as she grows up into adulthood, but we did want to make note of that. So this is Miss Pink. So she's not the smallest in the litter, but obviously she's the only girl and just the right size. This is the average size that we kind of expect for girls at this age. Sage's pups trend to grow a little faster right off the bat. But Violet's got plenty of milk for everybody. They're all doing good. They just start out smaller usually, and their overall adult height may be a little bit smaller in the end, as maybe an average for the size of a Vizsla, not kind of on the large size for a Vizsla like Sage's pups. So that is Miss Pink, and next we're going to go to Mr. Red. So Mr. Red is 0.77 pounds as of right now. So he's the smallest out of the litter. Not necessarily a runt. He's still a good size for this age and doing really good. But smallest out of the boys and smallest for this litter. So for his markings, we're seeing solid on his chest and toes, solid everywhere else. Very slight few hairs in his groin area. So that is Mr. Red, just as handsome as can be, and we're excited for him to present him to you. So next we've got Mr. Orange, and he is buried in the pile. Sorry, Mr. Orange, I get to be the bad guy and pull you away from nursing. So this is Mr. Orange, and he is 0.83 pounds as of today, and he has some fun markings. He's got a more heavily marked neck area underneath his collar, if you can see that, and then he's got a little more heavily marked groin area. That's a little more pronounced and will likely be visible into adulthood. And sorry, he's got a little bit of dried afterbirth on his face here. I don't want to pull that off. That'll just kind of wear out in time, so we'll just leave that for the moment. So that's Mr. Orange, and we're excited to share him with you. So Mr. Gray is next. Sorry, Mr. Gray, get to interrupt dinner time. He is 1.03 pounds as of today. And Mr. Gray, he has a dot marking on his chest. If you can see that. A very slight marking on his collar area. And then a very slight marked groin area. And then some fun frosted back left and back right toes. So he'll have some feet markings, which will be fun to watch as he flies like the wind as he grows up and runs around. So that is Mr. Gray. Next we've got dark blue, and he's right here. So Mr. Dark Blue is 1.19 pounds, and he is the largest out of the boys, tied with Mr. Brown. There's kind of a tie for biggest of the boys. And so 1.19 pounds. And we're seeing solid on Mr. Blue. We're not seeing any markings anywhere. And that is Mr. Blue. So next we've got light blue. And he is 1.14 pounds. So just right behind in third place, behind dark blue and brown. He's 1.19 pounds. Or excuse me, brown is 1.19, light blue is 1.14 pounds. And he has a light marking on his neck underneath his collar area, and a marked groin area, slightly marked there. And we're not seeing any markings on his toes. So that is Mr. Blue, light blue, at 1.14 pounds. So next up we've got Mr. Brown. So he's tied for first place in size at 1.19 pounds. And Mr. Brown, he's got a marked neck area, if you can see that. And he's got a marked groin area that's slightly marked there. And then he's got a fun frosted back right toe. And that's all we're seeing on his feet. So that is Mr. Brown, doing great. So Mr. Green is last but not least. Mr. Green is the heavy hitter. I forgot about him. So Mr. Green is 1.3 pounds. He's the biggest out of the bunch. So he is number one. So Mr. Brown and dark blue are tied for second place. And then light blue is right behind them in third. And he is solid from what we're seeing on the chest and neck, and just a very slight marked groin area, and we're thinking solid on his toes. So that is Mr. Green. So he's a little bit above average, kind of on the scale with Sage's pups, and the others are just right at average that we would expect for this age of pups. So that is all of Violet's pups, and we're excited to share them with you and tell you a little bit more about them. And we hope you enjoy watching them grow in the subsequent videos, and continue to follow along there and let us know if you have any questions about them. And thanks for watching.